happened? It's me, Lucy. It's okay.
In the pool! Ben can't swim!
Lucy, bad. Bad. Bad.
Give me the phone. Try recent calls. Yes, it's ringing.
Brad, listen to me. We need help.
Oh, you need some help?
We have a new aquatic horror movie, and I really wanted to like this one. This one is called Killer Whale, and it follows best friends Maddie and Trish as they embark on a thrilling adventure that turns into a terrifying fight for survival against a vengeful killer whale named Cedo. This one just did not do it for me. I feel like the CGI was very heavy. It also did feel like they relied on green screen a lot. It didn't feel like they were out in the ocean. It felt like they were standing behind a green screen. That really took me out of the scenes because it felt less realistic and like they weren't actually there. And so the isolation and just the trapped elements didn't hit. I can let some cheesy CGI scenes go as long as it has a good plot and it keeps me invested, but this one just didn't hold my attention. I didn't have any feelings towards the characters. The character development just felt lacking. And for a movie about a killer whale, I don't feel like we see the whale enough. And when we do, it is very CGI, like I said, and just feels so cheesy. It also didn't have a lot of action, which you'd want to see in this type of movie. It felt more like a drama thriller. Can we also do away with the cheesy slow-mo scenes? I feel like sometimes it can elevate a scene if used right, but when you're constantly using it several times, it gets overdone. It also feels like a cop-out at times because it makes an action scene seem less intense. It did have some heartfelt moments, but I do feel like the lack of character development took away from that, so I feel like if they would have fleshed that out just a little bit more, made us more connected to the characters, it would have hit so much differently. I'd say if you do want to watch this movie, just go into it knowing it's going to be a cheesy, almost comical movie that you can laugh at and just enjoy it for what it is. Just don't have high expectations. But if you've seen this one, let me know what you thought about it. If not, you can find this one in select theaters and video on demand, and let me know if you check it out.
What if the world lost gravity for 7 seconds? Do y'all know how devastating that can be? If that was to happen, do you know what will happen? Not just to us, but to everything that's movable. First, I'm talking about maybe 80 to 90% of the world will be gone. I mean, like humans, animals, gone. Just think about it. The earth lose gravity for 7 seconds. That means we're going up. Everything that's down is going up. And what happens when you go up? Everything that goes up must come down, right? And the thing is, you're not even going to be safe in the airplane because once everything lose gravity, everything stop working. Cars, planes, everything. Internet is gone. Everything's gone for them 7 seconds. The ones that I think that'll be able to survive is the people that have bunkers. Or if you have something like underground where you can stop yourself from going up. But everything will feel crazy. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, y'all, is because allegedly this is supposed to happen in August of 2026.
Top 5 horror movies on Netflix in 2026, No Sleep Tonight. Number 5, The Conference. A team retreat turns deadly when co-workers face a masked killer, exposing secrets while they fight together to survive a brutal night. Number 4, There's Someone Inside Your House. A small town is terrorized when a killer targets teens, revealing dark secrets and forcing everyone to confront hidden fears at home. Number 3, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A group of young visitors face terrifying violence when they enter the wrong place and must escape non-stop deadly danger alive together. Number 2, Time Cut. A teen travels through time to stop brutal murders, discovering scary consequences that show changing the past always has dangerous costs ahead. Number 1, Fear Street. A high school celebration becomes horrifying as students are hunted, uncovering a long curse and fighting desperately to survive prom night alive.
There was this trucker in northern Texas. He said he was driving New Year's night one night on this rural back highway. And he said it was completely dark. There wasn't another car in sight. And as he was making his way down this road, he noticed something up ahead in the middle of the road. So he slowed his truck down, and as he got a little bit closer, he said he could see this very young girl wearing a white gown, very long blonde hair, and she was barefoot. So he slowly made his way around her, and he stopped his truck. And he said, he had a daughter around that age, and he felt, I can't leave this girl out in the middle of nowhere. So he honks his horn, and after a couple minutes, he hears a knock on his passenger side window. He rolls it down, and there's that girl. He said he could see her better. She had this very long, flowing blonde hair, pale white face with freckles. And he said, look, I insist that you get in the truck and I give you a ride to the nearest town because I don't feel comfortable leaving you here alone out in the middle of nowhere. So she gets in the truck with him and he starts driving away. Well, he starts asking her questions, why are you out in the middle of nowhere? Why are you not wearing any shoes? Like, are you in some kind of danger? The girl doesn't say anything. The only thing she's doing is making these weird groaning sounds, like, and he said, that was a little weird, but I really didn't think much of it at the time. He said, all of a sudden, as they're driving, she points out in front of him, and she says, 37. And he said, what's 37? What does that mean? She doesn't respond. She doesn't say anything. So he said at that point, he was kind of a little weirded out, and was like, I'm just going to make it to the nearest town as fast as possible. So as he continues on driving, he said all of a sudden, this girl got up from her seat, and she crawls into the cab. And he was like, now she's somewhere in the cab. It's dark. I can't see her. Like, where did she go? So he starts yelling, like, you need to get back in the front of the truck or I'm going to, like, kick you out. Like, you need to get up here. She doesn't respond. And he said all of a sudden he sees her head kind of peek up between the two seats. And she just looks at him and starts smiling. And he said she started waving at him to come in the back into the cab. And he said, look, you need to get out of here right now. Like, come up to the front seat. He said all of a sudden she went back in the cab. And a couple minutes later, she started screaming. So he said, you know what? I've had enough of this. He slams on his brakes. He pulls the truck to the side of the road. And he gets out. Well, he's standing in front of his truck. He gets on the phone. He calls the police. They send a sheriff out. The sheriff, goes inside the truck. He checks the cab. He doesn't find anyone. And the trucker is like, what are you talking about? Like, there's a girl, she was in the cab. She's like crazy. Like, you need to get her out there. And the sheriff says to the trucker, like, I want you to go to the nearest rest stop, get some sleep, like, take a nap because you've been driving too long. So he listens to the sheriff. He goes to the nearest town. He finds a truck stop and he takes a nap. Well, after he wakes up, he gets out of the truck to go into the truck stop when all of a sudden he notices this plaque next to a field. So he walks over to this plaque and he starts reading it. And it says that at one time there was a small little village there and there were 37 residents. A cholera epidemic came through and all of them succumbed to this, epidemic or whatever. And he said the weirdest part, though, was when he looked down, there was a picture of some of the people in the town. There was that girl in the white dress.
Do you hear something? Welcome to the Undertone Podcast, where we talk about all things creepy. I'm your in-house skeptic, Evie Babbage, and my believer co-host says he has a real treat for us today.
We're listening to 10 mysterious audio recordings from an anonymous email.
Oh my God. Are you implying there's hidden messages in it?
Let me play it back in reverse.
Play the next one. Let's find out.
What is that? Where is that coming from?
We should stop listening.
What if we unleashed something?
You shouldn't have called out to her. It's what she wants.
I'm shaking. I'm so scared. Walking in the woods just now. Just fucking now. And it was normal. It was fine. It was woods I've been in a million times. And there was a bridge that I had never seen before. That was my first mistake. Right as I got to the other side of the bridge, I saw something, and I have a video of it, but every time I go to edit it, it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. It's just a deer. It's just a deer. God. But when I looked at it, it looked right at me. It looked right in my fucking eyes. I don't feel so good. It's just off. So I see it, and it's not moving. It's just looking at me. And I took a step toward it. Mistake number two. Mistake number two. When it didn't move, I took a step toward it and it didn't move. And in the video you can see that it's because I look away, and when I look back it's not there. I couldn't keep looking at it. So I looked away, and when I looked back it was gone. And in the video it's just gone. It's there and then it's not. I feel sick. And I just took off running. I followed the trail back out of the woods. And I have 6 missed calls from my husband and 2 missed calls from my boss because 2 hours have gone by. I wasn't in there for 2 fucking hours. I'm so scared. No, I feel sick. If anyone has any advice, what I should do next, what do you do? What do you do now? What do I do now?
I think this year's been solid on the horror movies, but the way this lineup looking right here, 2026 is shaping up to be absolute chaos in the best way possible. First off, Evil Dead Burn. This title alone screams nightmare fuel. The franchise that refuses to die is literally rising from the ashes again. And then we have The Exorcist being directed by Mike Flanagan. If it's one franchise that could use the Flanagan touch, it's The Exorcist. Hell, there's a lot of franchises out there that could use the Flanagan touch. I don't care what nobody say. I actually enjoyed It Follows. So I'm curious to see what direction they go in with They Follow. If that means bringing back that beautiful cinematography and the fire-ass soundtrack, then you know I'm all in. Then we have Terrifier 4. Art probably looked at the last movie and was like, nah, bro, I could do better than this. And plus, it ain't gory enough. Resident Evil is getting another film, but this time it's under Zach Cregger, the guy who did Barbarian. I think that's a huge win. Backroom is finally getting its big screen treatment. I think this is about to ruin all of our sleep schedules. We also got The Bone Temple, The Bride, and Psycho Killer all coming through, giving us different flavors of madness. And oh yeah, Obsession. I saw this at Fantastic Fest, and damn, I can't wait for y'all to check this joint out. It's actually in my top 5 for the year. Return to Silent Hill, Werewolf, Primate, and The Mummy. Yeah, it's looking like we about to get that monster energy that we've been all craving for. And then Ready or Not 2, our chaotic bride is coming back with more carnage. Scream 6 is coming back from the dead. And let's be real, we could all use a laugh or two after all this blood and screaming. And to top it off, Crystal Lake. Yeah, we returning to Camp Blood. Horror 2026 is looking pretty damn iconic. And if it's anything like this lineup, I'm gonna need a priest and a therapist by the end of the year. Which one are y'all most hyped for? Let me know in the comments. Hey, it's your boy Bobby at Watch Real Flicks. Don't forget to hit that follow button.
So check this crazy ass loophole I just went through. I nutted in the condom. Put water in the condom. Okay? Then, you want to take it a step further, put the condom over a light. At that point, you're going to see a homemade lava lamp. Not gabbing though.
Films die je absoluut niet moet kijken als je snel bang bent. Dit zijn de horrorfilms waar ik het meest naar uitkijk in 2026. We beginnen sterk met Scream 7. Het is gewoon een klassieker. Hoe iemand je kan terroriseren in je eigen huis is gewoon echt heel eng. Dan heb je 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Dit is het vervolg op 28 Years Later. En als je die nog niet gezien hebt, moet je het zeker gaan kijken. Want ik heb gehoord dat deze nog grover en nog duisterder wordt. Return to Silent Hill. Het heeft even geduurd voordat we Anything Silent Hill hebben gekregen. Dus ik ben excited. Oh, en The Backrooms. Ik hou zo erg van Anything Liminal dat ik hier echt niet op kan wachten. Dit is geregisseerd door Kane Pixels. Degene die de originele viral backroom video's heeft gemaakt. En dan heb je Scary Movie 6. Oké, dit is geen pure horror, maar het telt gewoon. Hoe zij een komische versie maken van alle horrorfilms is gewoon geniaal. En er komen ook weer heel veel OG's terug. Ik kan niet wachten.
Can we talk about the movie Primate really quickly? First of all, let me just say 10 out of 10 highly recommend. If you haven't seen this movie yet, I definitely recommend you go see it immediately. When I tell y'all this movie had me like, I literally was in the movie theater. That was me 90% of the time because it was just so like suspenseful. I think it is considered a horror, or is it a thriller? I don't know. It was scary either way, to me anyway, because I feel like that's something that can happen in real life. First off, let's talk about the dad real quick. I don't know. I understand that one of the daughters is grown and one of them was a minor, but I kind of feel like, why are you leaving them alone with a monkey? You know, like, I don't know, something about and then you left them alone after you realize the monkey basically mutilated a damn mongoose in his enclosure and had got bit. Now, also news to me, I did not know, is this true that there isn't rabies in Hawaii? Like, is that a real thing, or was it just movie, like something in a movie? Now, my girl, she did not have to go out like how she did. Her brother. No, but she did not have to go out how she did. Like, I was like, damn, Ben, why her? She was so nice to you. Now, her friend, no, not even her friend, because her friend, before she passed, she was trying to help her, even though there was definitely some tension between the two on that plane. And also, when I tell y'all, me and my friends would have turned Ben every which way but loose, it was like 4 or 5 of them. They could have jumped him, for sure. And I'm the only one who felt like whenever Ben had reached over and pulled old girl by the hair, like, I felt like they could have pulled him in the water. Like, I really felt like they could have ended it right there. Also, the scene with the ledge and the boy, like, I feel like that was the time for them. Like, it just was so many opportunities where I feel like they could have ended it all. Like, and not to mention when I was about to say, and then the 2 boys that had came over from the plane, but then I realized, like, they went in with the mindset that they were about to get some cootie cat because of the voicemail that she left them. So can't even fault them. I actually had got invited to Paramount Studios for a private advance screening of this movie. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but it was really good, y'all. And I'm not just saying that because of that. I would definitely see it again. I genuinely feel like it was a scary and suspenseful movie. So if you haven't seen it, go watch Primate. And then what was your favorite scenes if you have seen? Let's talk about it in the comments.
Oh yeah, one more thing. If y'all see me on Love Island, mind your fucking business, bitch. I'm trying to find love, bitch. Y'all had y'all motherfucking chance.
These are my thoughts on some of the upcoming horror movies releasing in 2026. I mean, not that anyone asks, but that's never stopped me before. I don't know about y'all, but I am so happy that The Strangers Chapter 3 is coming out, so this can all be over and I never have to watch another one of these movies again. I saw the trailer and it does look better than the other 2, but I also thought that when I saw the trailer for the second movie, so I feel like Chapter 3 has to be a 10 out of 10 phenomenal movie for all of this to feel worth it. I am so ready for Scary Movie 6. In fact, I don't think I've ever been more ready for a movie in my entire life. These movies were my entire childhood and I just hope that they offend as many people as possible. Our favorite to-be original Scream 7 is releasing in a month. clap if you care. No, but even though I made the decision to not financially support this movie, I'm still gonna like watch it on my phone or something and talk shit because that's my job. That first trailer was a hot mess, and apparently we're getting a second one soon, so can't wait to see how that turns out. I know everything that's gonna happen in this movie, allegedly, so unless they execute it well, I feel like it's gonna be a mess. I love Evil Dead 2013. I adore Evil Dead Rise, so I'm really hoping that I love Evil Dead Burn. I am so excited for this movie, and apparently it's releasing in the fall, so I can't wait. I'm not like a huge stan of the 28 Years franchise. They're good, but like not amazing. I still have yet to watch the last one, so I'm definitely gonna do that before this movie comes out, but I didn't hear great things about it. I will say this poster is phenomenal, and if the movie is anything like it, I think it'll be good. This is not an official poster, but Insidious 6 is releasing this year, and I am so ready. I have been a stan of the Insidious franchise since the beginning, so yeah, high hopes. I recently watched the trailer for They Will You, and it looks really good. I'd be so scared to say certain words because TikTok be in my mug. There is also a movie coming out called Hokum, I don't know, but it looks really good. I believe people from Long Legs and Weapons have something to do with this movie, and I don't like Long Legs, but I love Weapons, so it's 50-50. I am so ready for Ready or Not 2, like I cannot wait. Samara Weaving, Catherine Newton, take my money. There's also a lot of other horror movies releasing this year that I'm really excited for, but I'm yapping and there's too many to name.
Students began leaving the school in large groups. No fire alarm, no lockdown announcement, just teachers quietly pointing toward the exits. Some kids were still holding notebooks. Some never went back for their backpacks. Parents were told it was routine. But buses arrived too early, and classrooms were left open. Someone inside said it started with a report. Something seen near the building. It wasn't moving. It was just watching. At first, officials said there was nothing to worry about. Then hallways were cleared. Then students were gone. No footage released. No explanation given. Online, people started using one word. Skinwalker? Authorities refused to say that word. They refused to say any word at all. This happened in Ohio, January 9, and watching hundreds of students leave without answers, it's hard to ignore the feeling. Maybe this world isn't as simple as we think, and maybe it never needed to be.
Gothic movies that are coming out this year, 2026. Victorian Psycho, which I have not heard about this one. Basically about a Victorian governess, moves into a remote manor, and people around her start disappearing. The face of horror is going to be more of the gothic horror movie. However, it is a gothic love story where romance turns dark and dangerous as secrets come out. Another one is Werewolf. Set in medieval Britain, village is terrorized by a mysterious creature tied to old folklore and curses. The Mummy. Basically about a family who reunites with someone who disappeared years ago, but the return is terrifying and unnatural. The Bride. A woman is brought back to life and must deal with love, identity, and the consequences of being created. In Wuthering Heights, yes, in quotation marks, because this story is going to be a little bit different from all the Wuthering Heights movies that have come out prior. This is not going to be the classic romance version like the novel. It's going to focus more on obsession, destructive, yearning love. This movie does not lead up to the hype. The costumes will make up for it. Definitely wanted to see a lot more gothic films. I also did a gothic makeup look that you guys said was not gothic enough. I just recreate it and do something way more gothic. Let me know. Bye.
3 paranormal places in Montreal. In 2026, we expect a haunting in this area at the corner of Murray and William in the heart of Griffintown. This is the site of Mary Gallagher's beheading. Every 7 years, she comes back to haunt this area in search of her head. Dorchester Square is the site of a former cemetery. In the 1700s, over 30,000 bodies were buried here. Have a look. You'll find these crucifix forms all throughout the square. This symbolizes the cemetery that once was. Just steps away from Peel Street is the tomb of Simon McTavish. Simon would haunt the slopes of Mount Royal, tobogganing in his coffin. Rumor has it that construction disrupted the site, and now he's mad about it, and he's been haunting the site ever since.
They told me Oz was just a story. A fairy tale my grandmother dreamed up after the storm.
How do you know Dorothy?
I don't.
Then why are you here? For nearly 20 years. Since I've known her, she can't have said more than 4 words to me.
My mother tried to bury our secret. She called it family madness.
Are you ready for today's session?
You can't hide from something that knows your name.
Now we'll begin.
She said she saved me by hiding Oz, abandoning it, leaving it to die so that I might live. I see their faces, the witches, the patched together creature, the man-made of tin, the Lilo.
Stay away from us!
I see the same yellow brick road, the same shadows, voices calling from behind the wind. Now Oz is awake again. And whatever began with my grandmother is coming back to finish with me.
A school bus filled with 26 children, all kidnapped and buried alive. This is the largest case of mass kidnapping in American history. The Chowchilla kidnapping, this is one of the most bizarre true crime cases. You're gonna think that I'm telling you the plot of a movie. Ed Ray was the school bus driver that fateful day in California in 1976. He's driving his normal bus route. He's driving on a more rural stretch of land when he notices a white van stopped in the middle of the road. Thinking that maybe they're experiencing some kind of car trouble, he pulls over to try and help them, and that's when 2 men get out of the van. They have nylon stockings over their heads and they're carrying large weapons, and they start approaching the school bus. Ed has 26 children on his school bus, ranging in ages from 5 years old to 14 years old, and he's terrified if he makes one wrong move that these men are going to open fire on all these children. So for the time being, he complies with whatever they say. The 2 men hijack the school bus and begin driving it away, while a third kidnapper is following behind them in the white van. They drove to a secluded area, and that's when they loaded the 26 children and the school bus driver Ed into 2 vans, and then they drove those vans 12 hours. And the back of the vans are completely boarded up, so they're in these vans for 12 hours in total darkness. Can you even imagine the fear and confusion? Ed is the only adult in the situation, trying his best to be responsible for 26 children, try and keep them calm and keep them safe. And meanwhile, back home, dozens of parents are realizing
another body has been found in a Houston bayou, this time downtown near the intersection of White Oak and Buffalo bayous. This is the first one of 2026. It was actually one of our KPRC2 crews that was down here and spotted some commotion by this bayou right here. That's whenever they walked over and saw the person floating in the water. This is a roughly 20 to maybe 30-year-old African-American male that is floating in the water. Houston police, Houston fire, now on scene working, but this is still very fresh. I just spoke with one of the lieutenants who tells me that they're still trying to figure out if this is indeed just a natural cause death or if there's a criminal nature behind this. And we can't forget the last year that we had 34 bodies found in Houston area bayous during that year. Now, this isn't record breaking or shattering by any stretch of the imagination. In 2024, there were 35, but last year, especially the latter part of last year, there's been a lot more attention on bodies in Houston bayous.
If you feel like you've seen every true crime documentary, you've come to the right place. Here are all the new ones coming out in January. I'll have a full list to screenshot at the end, and I do this every month, so make sure you like and follow to stay up to date. The Murder of Joanna Yates revisits the case of a woman murdered on Christmas Day in 2010. Her case became a media sensation, with the press focused on only one person. The Cult of the Real Housewife is about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Mary Cosby and the inner workings of Faith Temple Pentecostal Church, which she runs with her husband/grandpa. You heard me right. The cult behind the killer, the Andrea Yates story, looks at how extremist religious teachings and isolation allegedly influenced a mother before the 2001 drownings of her 5 children. Harlan Coben's final twist brings Coben's signature storytelling to real-life cases, following threads that expose the hidden lives of seemingly ordinary people. We're getting season 2 of The Curious Case of, and they'll continue spotlighting bizarre, headline-making crimes with a new case in each episode. Killer Confessions: Case Files of a Texas Ranger dives into cold and nearly closed cases, where a Texas Ranger named James Holland uses his unique brand of interrogation tactics and in cases once considered unsolvable. Vice News presents Epstein Didn't Kill Himself. The title kind of says it all, but it explores how the mysteries surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's life and death sparked widespread distrust, unanswered questions, and a conspiracy that refuses to fade. The Hillside Strangler breaks down the late 1970s killing spree that terrorized Southern California, detailing how two relatives murdered young women and hid it in plain sight before they were exposed. Handsome Devil examines the 2019 murders of two women in Cape Coral, Florida, where charisma, manipulation, and online obsession complicated the public perception of a killer. Kidnapped Elizabeth Smart revisits a 2002 home abduction that became one of the most watched missing person cases in U.S. history. 33 photos from the ghetto centers on rare images secretly taken during the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, documenting crimes against civilians from a perspective nearly lost. Here's your full list to screenshot for the month. Let me know which one you're most interested to watch in the comments. And make sure you follow so you get these lists every month.
A strange little girl appeared online, and no one knows where she came from. People swear they've never seen her before. What caught everyone's attention were her eyes. They're bright red, not irritated, glowing, shiny, almost glass-like, like they don't reflect light the way normal eyes do. Her mother claims the girl can predict the future, not vague guesses, specific things with dates and details. For years, the parents kept her completely hidden from the public. No doctors, no cameras, no social media. They said they were protecting her from questions and attention. But recently, that changed. The parents started posting videos. In them, the girl calmly talks about things that haven't happened yet. And some of those things actually did. That's when people started asking uncomfortable questions. The girl is only 4 years old. 4. How do you hide a child for that long? And why do it in the first place? Some say it's fake. Others think it's just a rare eye condition. But there's more. The child is an albino, even though both parents are dark-skinned. Doctors argue. Comment sections explode. And the scariest part? The parents say she's already made another prediction, and they're scared to share it.